You can start to lame duck this on April 1st. Start to get lame duck. Then we win. Then we win the Virginia governor's race. Lame duck more. We have to take this like you do cleaning the house or whatever, one chunk at a time. And America's first chunk of cleaning is Wisconsin Supreme Court, April 1st.
You can start to lame duck this thing on April 1st. Take it one chunk at a time. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz paid a neighborly visit a couple of weeks ago to Eau Claire, Wisconsin. He told people to not look 4 years down the road to the next presidential election. He said, look just ahead. Look to the race for Wisconsin Supreme Court, April 1st. Start to lame duck this thing now. And of course, last night, Wisconsin went to the polls and they elected the Democratic-backed candidate to the state Supreme Court, and they elected her by a lot. Susan Crawford beat the conservative candidate by 10 points. This tells you a little something about the political temperature right now in a swing state where Trump actually won in November. After the results came in last night, Wisconsin's Democratic Party chair, Ben Wickler, said this. He said, Wisconsin Supreme Court election demonstrates Musk and Trump have gone too far, and any politician allied with them could swiftly face the end of their career. He said, quote, in a moment of national darkness, Wisconsin voters lit a candle. Let the lesson of Wisconsin's election ring out across the country. Hope is not lost. Democracy can yet survive. And the voice of the American people will not be silenced. Joining us now is Ben Wickler, chair of the Wisconsin Democratic Party, who hasn't slept in weeks. Mr. Wickler, thank you so much for being here, and congratulations on a victory I know you fought really hard for last night.
Thank you, Rachel. And thanks to Susan Crawford, who never wavered in the face of the richest person in the world coming after her with things that have never been thrown at any judicial candidate anywhere ever, and held firm to her belief in integrity and democracy and the rule of law, in freedom, in what this country is supposed to stand for. And voters responded at a level we've never seen in our state. I just want to share a fact that I crunched today. Susan Crawford running for Supreme Court in an April election in Wisconsin. These are normally low turnout races. Most people don't tune into at all. She got more votes than any Republican running for governor of Wisconsin has ever earned this spring.
Wow. That's almost hard to get your head around. Ben, let me ask you about the money part of this. I mean, in politics, like when you take political science classes, sometimes you use money as a substitute for all other available metrics in terms of figuring out what kind of elections you should expect or look forward to. What are the lessons from this race where Susan Crawford was up against essentially infinite money, more money than had ever been shoveled into a judicial race by any single donor ever, more money overall in any judicial race ever in the history of this country, and more money as a possibility, a donor with zero ceiling on what he could have spent. I mean, most people facing an electoral sort of horizon like that would think that they had no chance. What did you learn in Wisconsin about what it is to run against a bottomless checkbook?
Well, Susan Crawford, I think, just delivered a masterclass, because when Elon Musk started going after her, instead of shrinking back or trying to find some way to, convince him to withdraw from the race or tone it down, she went straight after him. She started saying on the campaign trail, I never thought growing up as a little girl in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin, that I'd be up against the richest man in the world. And people would erupt in applause. Her fundraising on Act Blue, it raised more money every day than it used to cost to run an entire Supreme Court race in the state of Wisconsin. So we were outspent. Susan Crawford and the Democratic Party, we were outspent by Elon Musk and the forces of the far right. There were other far right billionaires that got in too, but we weren't out-communicated or out-organized because literally hundreds of thousands of people wound up chipping in, and thousands of people made phone calls, knocked on doors, got involved, spread the word. We've tracked millions and millions of conversations that happened between volunteers and supporters of Susan Crawford and Wisconsin voters, and all of that added up not just to a hairline victory, it was a landslide. This is a state where elections routinely come down to less than 1 percentage point. Elon Musk came to Wisconsin and he put on a cheesehead and he tried to bribe Wisconsin voters. And the message of fury that ignited, the only real response is to say that Wisconsin's not for sale. And you can't just come into Wisconsin and think that you can take the cheesehead and give an affront to our voters. But this same kind of fight is possible everywhere. No matter what you put on your head, people can fight back against the oligarchy. There's still enough democracy left that no matter where you are, it is possible to organize, to get together, to support people who actually have conviction and values and believe in something bigger than themselves. Because what Elon Musk doesn't get is that people in politics don't have to just be out for themselves. They don't have to be trying to attempt to loot the federal government. Trump doesn't get this either. There's something bigger at the heart of what it means to be an American and what it means to be a patriot in this country that is about a belief in the United States of America. And I think in this race, we saw in Wisconsin, in this one purple state, the kind of energy that comes out when people realize that by acting together, they can overcome the richest and most powerful people in the world in service of a country that works for everyone.
A resounding result last night, and very well articulated by the chairman of the Wisconsin State Democratic Party, Ben Wickler, here tonight. Ben, congratulations again, and thanks for joining us tonight. And I'm amazed you didn't even mess up your hair. That was beautifully done.
Thank you, Rachel.
All right, more news ahead with us here tonight. Stay with us.